Hello everybody, it's Dana Sullivan, your Stampin' Chick, here with another Make It Monday! How are you today, my friends? I hope that you had a wonderful weekend. I had a great weekend. It was a long one, but it was a very nice one. And I'm so glad to be with you here today on our Make It Monday video. And I just wanted to say thank you so much for coming and visiting my page and watching my channel and watching my videos. I just absolutely appreciate it so much, and I just wanted to say thank you. So thank you so much. Today's video is an absolutely fantastic one because I am once again dipping into the Everything is Rosy product medley, and I have come up with today's card project that is a fun fold or fancy fold, however you want to call it, and I think that you're really going to like it. So let me show you. Okay, so first things first, you notice that the card is laying flat, and so it will actually fit into a standard A2 envelope, which is great. But if you look at this, let's see if it, I know that I'm looking at it from the top, and I'm very sorry about that, but maybe you can see how the mechanism is there. I hope that you can. The card just stands up nice and tall, and it has this beautiful front panel and then a recessed panel, and it's freestanding. It's just absolutely beautiful. And then on the inside, I've got a lovely sentiment, and I'm going to show you how to do this. So it looks like it might be complicated, but it's not so bad. Let's get to it, okay? What you're going to need is a piece of cardstock measuring 4 1/4 by 11. Now this is still just half a sheet of cardstock, but instead of it being the standard 8 1/2 by 5 1/2 that we fold, this one is 4 1/4 by 11 inches. And we're going to have some scoring and cutting, and it's going to be a little bit crazy, but we'll get through it. It'll be okay. Alright, the next thing you're going to need is whatever designer series paper you're going to use. In this case, I'm using, of course, the Everything is Rosy, and this piece is 2 1/8 by 4 3/8. So there's one of those. And then you need two pieces cut at 7/8 by 4 3/8. So if you notice, the Everything is Rosy paper is a 6 by 6 paper. So I took one of those sheets and I cut it at 4 3/8 to begin with. And then I just cut my 7/8 of an inch, my other 7/8 of an inch, and then I cut another piece at 7/8 of an inch. And then I cut this piece down to 4 1/8. So I just cut a 1/4 of an inch off of there. And then this piece I cut off the end, and I still had this much of a 6-inch piece left over. So I've still got some saved. Actually, I think these are both my pieces. So I still have this much saved off of a 6-inch piece of designer series paper. So you see that we can get a lot out of one sheet. Okay, so 2 1/8 by 4 3/8, 7/8 by 4 3/8, 7/8 by 4 1/8. All right. Now that we've got that, let's get them out of the way. Let me make sure that I keep that one piece by itself. There we go. All right, my friends, I have this template here, and I am going to be sharing this template on my blog today. So I want you to head over to my blog post. The link is going to be down in the description, and you're going to find this template on there. And this is also part of the Stampers Showcase blog hop, and there's a lot of absolutely fabulous demonstrators who do amazing projects, and they are all coming together this month to do some form of a fancy fold project, and y'all are going to just love it because these folks are really, really talented. So when you head over to my blog, you'll not only find the template, but you're also going to find the link for the blog hop so that you can hop along and check out all of the other fabulous projects that everyone else has done. Alright, so as you can see, we have our 4 1/4 by 11 inch strip, and then we're going to do some scoring and cutting. And it looks a little complicated, but I promise it's A-okay. Alright, here. Let me just get my little paper here. So this is actually the picture that you're going to see on my blog. And you notice that it has score lines, it has cut lines. So you'll be able to print this out, and you'll be able to make this project without any trouble. Okay, so what we want to do first is get this up and get our scoreboard. Alright, and now on the long side, what I'm going to do is grab my little X-Acto ruler here, and I'm going to line it up with the 1 inch mark up here. And the reason for that is it gives me a 1 inch space here, because if I'm looking at this the same way, you see that this line and this line and this line are scored down. This one is scored at 1 inch by 1 inch, and this one is scored at 2 inches by 1 inch. So you see that I'm coming over to the 2 inch mark, and I'm scoring down only 1 inch. So I'm going to use my ruler. I'm going to line it up with the 1 inch mark, and that's going to make it really easy for me to score down to the right space. Okay, so since I can't see it quite well from that far up, let me just line this up here right quick. Alright, very good. Now I have my paper up, I've got my ruler to the 1, and the first line is to score at 1 inch. So I'm going to score at 1 inch down to the ruler. And then I'm going to score at 2 inches down to the ruler. And then at 6.5 inches down to the ruler. I'm trying not to shake the camera. Okay, and then we're going to be doing the same thing on this side. So you see that it says cut 1 inch in from 1 inch and 6.5 inch. So we're going to be right here and right here, and we're going to go to 6.5 inch. So let me just take this to the 3 1/4 mark, because we're at 4 1/4 inches wide, so 1 inch would be 3 1/4. And this time I'm going to line the bottom edge with the 3 1/4. So let me just bring this up. Line it down. There we go. Make sure I'm straight. Very good. Alright, now I'm also going to use the numbers on my ruler. See, pretty handy, isn't it? Okay, so there's 1. There's 2. And 6.5. There we go. Alright, now that we've got that, the easiest thing to do is to turn your paper over, and we're going to score right here on the 1 inch mark, and we're going to go down to the 6.5 inch mark. And then we're going to come over here to the 3 1/4 inch mark, well, as soon as we find it. Ah, where are we? There we are. And we're going to go all the way down to the 6.5 inch mark. There we go. Okay, so now we have our fold lines. Now we have one more line to worry about right here, and we're scoring this at 5.5 inches. So now that we have these lines here, we can go back and we're going to find 5.5, and we're going to just follow it down and start here and go to the other line, just like that. Okay, now that we have that done, we have all of our scoring all finished, so we can get that out of the way. And you notice that today I'm working on my cutting mat, and that is because right here are cut lines. So let me get my paper lined up here. Now I'm hoping that you can see the lines. I know they're a little bit harder because it's a darker paper, but we've got our score lines. We have this score line, these score lines, and these ones. But we need to cut from here down and from here down. So the easiest way to do that is to line our paper up. Line our paper up with the grid, and then line this up with the grid. Very good. And then we're going to take our X-Acto knife, and we're just going to cut from this line all the way down to this line. There we go, and I'm going to run it a second time just to make sure I've got it, and I do. Okay, and so now we have this nice cut. Alright, now we're going to do the same thing on this side. So, let me just line up my knife and cut from this line down to this line. And I'm going to do that one more time to make sure it's cut, and it is. Alright, now we have our two cut lines. Let's get that X-Acto knife out of the way. Okay, so now what we're going to do is very carefully fold our paper. So we're wanting to fold these flaps in. And right now we're just getting the folds going. You know, we're going to get some good creases here in just a minute, but we just want to get our paper folded in the right direction. Okay? And actually, let me snip that just a tiny bit because it looks like it didn't go quite to the line. There we go. That's better. Alright, so now once you've pinched and squeezed and got your lines situated, now you can lay your cardstock down and you can burnish all of those folds. Very good. Alright. Alright, friends, now the hard part is over and all you have to do is decorate your card. Okay, so what I want to do is get my snail. Now I'm going to line this up towards the top, and it doesn't have a whole lot of wiggle room, just a little. There we go. Isn't that pretty? I am absolutely in love with this product suite. If you guys don't know that already by now, which I'm sure you do because you've been hearing me talk about everything is Rosy Medley for, what, 2 weeks now? It's very pretty. Okay, now let's go ahead and open this up so it'll be easier to put this piece in. And we're just going to line it up centered with the score lines as best we can. There we go. And then this piece is the same. Whoops. There we go. Let's turn this a little bit so I can reach it. There we are. So, there we go. I like it. Do you like it? I think it's very pretty. I really do love this paper. And then there you go. There's your handy dandy fancy fold mechanism. Alright, let me get this last piece glued on. There we go. And we will have our front finished. Yay! Oops, come on now. Alright. Okay, there we go. Now, I took some of the Melon Mambo ruched ribbon from the collection, and I just want to put it under this front panel here, and I'm going to tie it into a bow. So, let's see here. And actually, I could tell you, this piece is 18 inches, but I'm probably going to cut about 2 inches off of it. So I'm going to say 16 inches is plenty. And if you're just going to tie it into a knot, of course you could do even less than that. Alright, let's see here. There we go. Yeah, see, we're definitely going to get a good 2 inches off of this. So it's okay. I had cut it for something else. I don't even remember what the something else was. And, well, what have I got going on here? Where are you, crooked, my friend? There we go. I don't even know what the something else was that I had it cut for. But I already had this cut, so I thought I would just go ahead and use it on this project. And I'm going to tug it over to the side just a little so it's offset. Very good. Now, I don't really, for a hot second, trust this ribbon to stay where I want it without gluing it down. So let me go ahead and cut this tail right quick. And then I'm going to take a little pokey tool and my glue dots, and I'm just going to put this under the bow so that the bow stays where I want it and the ribbon stays where I want it. Right? That's good. Okay. Now that we've got that done, let's get the inside piece, because I want to show you this really cool technique. So this technique is called masking, and if you look right here on the flower, you'll see that it looks like the leaves are set in behind the flower, doesn't it? But actually, I stamped the flower first, and then I stamped the leaves over the top of it. So let me just show you how to do that. First thing I'm going to do, let me see, I want it to go this way. Alright, first thing I'm going to do is ink up my flower. And I actually want to stamp this off just one time. So let me grab a scrap piece of paper here and stamp it off once and then stamp it on. There we go. Okay. And then I've made a mask with a Post-it note. It's got the tacky side here, as you can see. And I just stamped the image on the Post-it note, and then I cut around it. And now I will put this mask in the case with the stamp set so that I have it all the time. And whenever I need it, I can use it. And so all you do is just lay it over the top of the stamped image. And then I'm going to get the Night of Navy ink and my leaves. Leaf, not leaves. One set of leaves. Alright, and then I want it to go right about there. There's one. And right about there, which is 2. And now here's the awesome part. When you pull the mask away, look at that. Isn't that cool? I love it. So neat. Alright, and then I want to put some little center in the flower. And the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to stamp off the little dots here. So I'm just going to ink them up and get my scrap paper back here. I'm going to stamp them off, stamp them off. Okay, I like the second stamp off, so I'm going to do this, stamp it off, and then bam, right there. Very good. All right, what do you think, guys? Easy peasy? You could do this, huh? Okay. Now, I also want to stamp with the Night of Navy. This sentiment says, time to celebrate all the lovely things in life, starting with you. I think that is very cute. All right, so I'm just going to try to center this up a little bit and give it a press, lift it straight up, and we're done. That's fabulous. Okay, time to glue this on. Now I'm just going to use some snail adhesive on this, and I want to make sure that I get it up here, across the top, across these little shoulders, and down, because I really want to make sure that this piece stays on the card. So just do that, and then one across the middle for luck's sake. Here we go. And to line it up. Alright. Now I just realized that I did not tell you how I got this piece. So what this piece is, a 5 1/4 by 4 inch piece of white cardstock, and I just cut a 1 inch square off each of the 2 corners, and that left the room for the arm here. Okay, so that's how I got this piece. I'm so sorry I didn't tell you that earlier. I should have. Okay, now let's decorate the front just a little bit, shall we? I've taken some of the foil paper that's in the product Medley, and I've used the die that's in the set, and I put an adhesive sheet on the back of this first. So we have 6 by 12 inch sheets of adhesive, so you can see the little tab here, and it's made the whole piece of cardstock with an adhesive backing, so the whole thing is a big sticker. And I find when I'm die cutting fine pieces like this and I want to glue them onto something, it's so much easier if I put the adhesive sheet on the back first and then run it through the machine, because then all I'm doing is picking off a backing just like this and then sticking the piece on where I want it. Isn't that so much easier than trying to use the liquid glue? I think so. Okay, so you've got a couple of fabulous tips in this video tonight, haven't you? Okay, here we go. Let me just put these on the card like that. Now I've got both pieces on here. And then I'm going to take a little bit of snail and I'm just going to run it across this and stick it down. And I want it to be a little below the horizon of the die cut pieces because I really want those foil pieces to show. They're very pretty. Okay, and then I want to put a little snail. Whoops, I don't want it to stick to me. I want to put a little snail here and just layer that piece right there. Very nice. And then one more layer piece right here, kind of in the middle. Very good. Now I'm going to take some of my handy dandy Stampin' Dimensionals and I'm just going to put a few of them around my piece here. And look at that, I had just enough and I used the whole sheet. Okay, let me get the backing off of this. Oops, there we go. There we go. There we go. Okay, and then stick this piece down just like that. What do you think? Is that beautiful? Alright, now the last thing that we need to do, what we cannot forget about because they are absolutely gorgeous, are the little mirrored circles. I love these things. I'm trying not to use them so much, but they're so much fun, I can't help it. Alright, so I'm going to put one up here. Stick. There we go. I'm going to put one right about here. And then I'm going to put one more right in the middle of that flower. Alright, and now I'm going to grab the pokey tool again. I hate that I don't have my take your pick tool right here, but I have it packed away for our trip. So it's in my bag, and if I take it out to use it for this video, I will leave it at home and then I will be very sad. So I'm very sorry you have to see me using that other pokey tool. Alright, my friends, there we have it. What do you think about that? Is it beautiful? I love it. I love the foil elements in the card. I love those little die cut pieces, and the mirrors are absolutely fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. And then the inside is just as cute as it can be. Okay, my friends, there you go. I hope that you've enjoyed this video tutorial on the Fancy Fold center step card. Make sure that you head over to my blog so that you can see the measurements and instructions, and so that you can get in on the blog hop and follow that bugger all the way back around to my blog so that you know you've seen every one of the blogs involved and you won't miss a single thing. They are going to have some absolutely fabulous cards for you to see over there. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. And until next time, happy crafting!